You send me, I know you send me, darling, you.
Hey guys, it's Katrin.
I'm Gab.
And we're back in the United States of Virginia. That's not right.
United States of America.
At the University of Virginia.
In Charlottesville, Virginia.
Which is the university we go to, and that allowed us to spend our first semester in London, as you've seen from the vlogs on this channel.
So we've been here for like 2 months.
What we wanted to talk about with this video is something that people have a lot of concerns about when they're considering doing a program like this, which is the transition back to the university after spending your first semester abroad. I just wanted to talk about what it was like for us and some challenges we had and how UVA helped or it didn't help and how we're doing now. So I think we're gonna start off and talk about why we did London first in the first place. Probably give some background. I'm from Northern Virginia. I'm from Reston, Virginia.
I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Basically, when I was looking at colleges, all of the final colleges I was considering had a program similar to this that I could study abroad in my first year, because studying abroad is like a really big deal to me and I want to be able to do it as much as I can while I'm in college. Getting the opportunity to spend my first semester abroad was like very important to me. I don't think I've talked about this in my videos before, but when I decided to go to UVA, I decided that I was going to do Shanghai first. And unfortunately, 10 days after the commitment deadline, when I committed to UVA and committed to Shanghai first, they canceled the program.
Send me, darling,
and they told me, well, you can either go to Charlottesville or you can go to London. So I picked London, and I'm so grateful it went the way that it did, because it brought me some of the best friends I've ever had in my life, the best experiences I've ever had, and I honestly would not have had it any other way. Everything happens for a reason. That's why I decided to do London, and then why Gab decided to do London.
Okay, well, so it all started actually with Kat. We met on the UVA roommate housing page.
Yeah. Backstory, when I decided that I was gonna do Global First, which is what they call the programs here, I spent time searching through the roommate thing at UVA, and I searched for people that I thought would be cool, and I was like, whoa, Gab seems really cool. So I sent her a message and I was like, you said you like travel, would you ever want to do a Global First program? And then
I thought Shanghai would be a lot of a transition for me, so I was looking at the London First program, and she was like, do it, you should do it, and I had no idea because it seems kind of scary, right, to go abroad your first semester. But I just I kind of made the decision super quick. I remember sitting on the couch in one of my classes in high school, and I was just like, I think I'm gonna go to London, and my teacher was like, you should do it.
Yeah,
I'm so happy.
Yeah,
I did it. I'm so happy. It was the best decision I've ever made.
Question that always comes up is, did you feel like you were missing out when you weren't in Charlottesville for your first semester?
Okay, well, personally, I don't think I missed out at all, because you have a huge city, and you have so many things to do in London, so anything that you would do here, you could just do kind of bigger over there, I guess.
Right.
And everyone's still trying to figure out friends, and we all made friends with each other. There's 23 of us, and
there's definitely more kind of helping structures is what I'd say in the first semester of your first year of college to help you meet people at the university. But in London, you're already given a group of 20 people who are already going to be kind of alike, because they were doing something kind of crazy, and they obviously care about studying abroad and seeing the world, and you've developed really close connections with those people. And you're not going to be best friends with everybody on the program. That probably won't happen, but you're going to get those close friendships that continue into Charlottesville. You might be missing out on those very structured ways of meeting people, but you create close connections, and it's people are like, oh, like you missed out on convocation, which is like where everything is just hot and you're sweating and everyone's new and everyone's nervous. Well, I don't really feel bad about missing out on that because instead we went to Portugal and we went to Sweden and you went to Spain. Like, we've had these experiences that have matured us so much more and made it so we don't need those structures to meet people and feel okay with ourselves.
Honestly, you come back with so much confidence. Like, you're like going into airports yourself. You're taking like 12-hour buses to like Amsterdam.
Exactly.
Like, you can like do anything you want. Like, walking to the library.
Making friends doesn't scare you. No, that's like the
all.
least of your worries, and you already have friends too. People really do get more confident in London. Like, I remember meeting Gab for the first time in the airport, and
I was so quiet. I was so nervous.
I just like, over the course of the semester, I saw Gab blossom into this super confident, super amazing, did not give a single about what other people think of her. I guess in being in her shell to just coming completely out of it. I just still see that happening in Charlottesville. Like, nothing phases this girl, so.
Oh my god, okay.
You get the opportunity to do the things you never thought we'd do. Okay, so like yesterday we were watching The Bachelor, and if you're watching okay. So in this episode, the most recent episode, they went to Portugal, and at least 3 of the people were like, I've never been to Europe before, and they're like 25, 26. And I never thought I'd get to go to Europe until I was 25 or 26.
Yeah,
and like,
honestly didn't really know I would ever go.
And now we've been
literally everywhere.
So many countries.
Because like every weekend you can just go.
So around November, October in UVA time is when people are like trying to figure out the housing for next year, which is really early. And it seems really like final.
You need to, like you have to figure it out.
You have to sign a lease, you have to sign a contract. It is not that big of a deal.
You still have time to meet people that you're gonna live with. Like, it's really not, you don't have to like sign anything.
No, you don't have to be concerned about that in the lease. Like, I would say don't sign anything unless you absolutely know that you want to live in that place and with those people, and that's perfectly possible. So for this year, in November, you're going to get the opportunity to put a preference for what area you want to live in. We both put old dorms as our preference, and that's what we got. Some people put new dorms, and they got new dorms. Just, we were talking about a little bit earlier, it's the International Residential College, and it has about 60% domestic students and 40% international, which is a lot more similar to Regents. You're gonna be happy wherever you end up. One thing that I am gonna complain about London First and housing is they didn't tell our roommates that we were moving in. So a lot of our roommates had no idea. Mine had an idea because I had messaged her on Instagram, but my RA told me that they only told our RAs 6 hours before we moved in, and we've made it clear that that's not okay, and that's not gonna happen again. Kind of general about the transition here is, what was it like? Was it hard? And I think the best way to answer that is to kind of point to the examples we were talking about earlier about how much more confident we became, how much more independent. I am gonna say that your first month in college is not gonna be the easiest time of your life.
No. I mean, it's just hard. Especially like the classes here are harder, it's a lot more work.
The first month was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. But I did have my friends from London to lean on, and we were all leaning on each other, we were all supportive. We met up a few times, like all of us.
Yeah. You think you're never gonna see anyone because UVA is so big, but no. Like,
we see each other all the time. It's so weird how many people you're gonna see.
Yeah,
that you wouldn't think so, because there are 16,000 people at this university, but like not all of them are first years, not all of them are like in the dorm area that you're in. Kind of a good segue actually to another point that I almost forgot. But us, like at the end of the first semester, we were a little bit worried. Probably not as much you, because you've lived in Charlottesville for so long. But like Charlottesville compared to London, the size is like very different. It's a very different geographical thing. It's not a city. It never felt small here either. Like Regents, it's like a 4,000 person university, and you're only really living with 200 people.
Yeah, and you see the same people every single day.
Yeah, you come back here, it's almost like bigger because there's so many things to get involved with, which you can also rush because that's a deferred process at UVA, so you can still rush in the spring.
I did do it, but I dropped. I think I'm gonna do it again next year. But I made friends through it, which is nice for people that I talked to today. So
it's like it makes it so there's familiar faces around grounds. Yeah. And the other thing is since these classes are more difficult, you have to spend more time on school. So that takes up more of your time than it does in London, because the classes in London are not that hard.
Darling, you send me, I know.
Since we've adjusted, and I feel like we've both adjusted pretty well, tips for doing that for people coming back next year or in the years after.
I would say definitely make friends with like people in your dorm, because I did that. Like my roommate introduced me to some people who hang out like downstairs in the common rooms, and I've made like a lot of friends through that, which was really nice. Easy, but like stay involved, like go to the club fair, like meet people, like participate in class, like you'll find people. Now I'm learning how to be a sex educator at the university, so that's exciting. Sex health educator.
I would say kind of have an idea of what you're interested in joining. So in the first month I auditioned for a lot of things. I got into the University Singers, which is like a choral group / class, like you actually get credit for it, but so that's fun because they have like retreat and you meet people, and I get to do music because that's something I really love. And then I also joined the University Guide Service, which is like tour guiding. It's so much more than you think it would be.
It's really competitive.
It's pretty competitive.
Like to get in, right?
Yeah, but it's just something I was really passionate about, like history and sharing my story, because we obviously have stories that are different from your average UVA student. And I wanted to spread the word, and it was so exciting. I think yesterday I might have convinced someone to do London first. An amazing experience. Everyone I've met has been so welcoming and so kind, and I made so many friends through that. And like, don't count out making friends through classes too, because if you know people from more than one thing, like there's a girl in my hall who was also in my engagement, and now we're friends, and like there's a girl on the other side of the hall who did guides and is in my like probationary member class. They call it a probie class, and now we're closer friends too. And like you're gonna meet people. Don't worry about meeting people. There are going to be moments where you feel
kind of alone,
like
kind of isolated sort of, but like
because like you are new, but the fact that you're new makes you like new and shiny to everybody involved, and they all want to get to know you.
They're like, what, you went to London? And everyone's like, oh, I wouldn't do that, but I'm glad you did that. And it's just like, it's like, even in those moments where it was hard and where it wasn't always easy, because it's not always easy when you're in London too. It's literally an amazing time. You just gotta get kind of used to it. Like, I remember the first week I was like, oh no, like I miss like Charlottesville, I miss my friends. Like, it was totally fine after. Like, no. Like,
so basically, like, even in those hard times, I have never once thought to myself, I shouldn't have done London first. It made me who I am. It brought me to amazing people. It brought me to amazing experiences. I'm saying the word amazing way too much. I'm sorry, but that's just the best way to describe it. Is it's literally life-changing. I know a city that I never thought I'd get to know. I'm in love with that city. I think you are too. I have a map of London right here. A lesson that you can't learn in the classroom, and that's what's made us so confident.
Darling, you.
I'd say that when you first get there, just smile and say hi, and like, because you guys are gonna spend so much time together that you will be friends. And just, I know you're gonna be nervous, like I was really nervous, but like the first night or the second night ended up being like Jason's birthday.
Yeah, the first night was Jason's birthday.
Walked around the street, walk a lot, take the tube, like really get out there. Do not spend like
don't spend all your time in Regents.
Yeah, don't feel pressure to like buy your tickets like the first week.
Also, London is an amazing place to be. You're never going to be bored there.
There's like
still
within the city
so many things that I want to do in London that I never got the chance. I wish that we had taken like more trips just within the UK. I guess my advice would be, if you're choosing, I would say if you're even thinking about it, apply. If after you've applied and you got in, it's something that you're really seriously thinking about, just do it. You're never going to regret this. 17, 18, 19 years old, however old you are, this is the only time in your life that you can do this. So why not take the opportunity? You're gonna have a lot of time to spend at UVA or at whatever university you're considering this kind of thing at. You don't have that much time to do something as cool as this. If you do London first, try to reach outside of like the main group of people that you hang out with, because there are so many different kinds of people there. My roommate from last semester, she doesn't go to UVA, which is really sad because I don't get to see her ever. But I wouldn't change that experience for the world. And like we got really close with our neighbor, you know, Nicoletta.
I love Nicoletta.
She's like this Grecian goddess. Opportunity while you're living there to meet these kinds of people that have lived such different lives than you. Like
I love my roommate Angela. She's from Montenegro. And like English is her like second language. She speaks it fine. It's just crazy to like hear about things that go on like where she lives and like her food.
Would you recommend having a non-UVA person as
Definitely.
your roommate? I definitely say try to do that.
You're kind of worried like, oh, I want to like make that bond with someone like from like a UVA roommate or whatever, but like you guys will see each other so much, like you will have a bond, like I promise you.
It's not going to be a problem. You're going to be friends with people from UVA. So I think we're going to cut it off here. We might do another video with more specific recommendations for London or traveling or studying abroad in general. Probably we're gonna do one. That sounds like a good idea, because we should do stuff about packing and like what you should bring.
The restaurants and like the cool like
If you guys have more questions, feel free to reach out to us on social media.
Please talk to us.
I'll leave our like links down below. We're gonna leave you with one piece of advice. Okay, ready? Did I say piece of advice? Piece of advice. We're gonna leave you with one piece of advice. First is to learn English. Second, just do it. Thanks for watching, guys.